So, I have a question for all of you. Who's in a relationship, and if you are and you're happy, I'm just going to send you some love. For those of you that are out of a relationship and brokenhearted, here's my comment. Stick with the facts. Realize that God pulled you out of something fantastic to give you something even better. So, God does for you what you can't do for yourself. Here's my last question. Who's a good dater? Raise your hand. Okay, not many. Who's a horrible dater? Raise your hand. Who gets neurotic and mental? Who is known for bringing a rose in the day, a cassette tape, and a poem on the first date? I am. It's tragic. It's helpless. I think it's charming. However, it never really worked in my favor. So at the end of the day, I ended up bringing myself flowers, making myself a tape, and I wrote myself a poem. Because if I can't love myself, how can somebody else love me? So tonight's episode is dedicated to how to date. It is so hard, right? Okay, first of all, if you have any questions or comments on dating, again, call us at 818-547-3668. So I decided to go to the top and shoot for a specialist in the dating world. Let me show his photo first. He's handsome. He's great looking. He was a jet fighter pilot, and he is the author of He Said, a crash course in dating for women. Joining me tonight is Brandon Aki. Guys, get rid of the photo and let's meet the man himself. How was that for an intro?
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you for being here, Brandon.
Thanks for having me.
So let me just dive into, first of all, what did you do before becoming the go-to guy for dating and the crash course in women?
Yeah, I was a military guy. So I was in the Air Force, went to the Air Force Academy where I got my degree in economics, and then traveled the world for a little bit, flying jets, and got hurt on a deployment. And long story short, I ended up getting back to my real passion, and that's why I'm here now.
Dating?
Yeah.
Is that your real passion?
Yeah, it really is. I grew up pretty, and you'll probably ask this question a little bit later, but I grew up pretty sheltered and had an amazing family. But just like a lot of other people, my family weren't the ones that taught me about dating. It was my friends.
Well, let me answer your question. I want to address your family really quick, but let me go back to what was it like flying a fighter pilot?
Well,
pretty exciting.
Well, flying jets was amazing. It's you have a multi-million-dollar aircraft at your disposal, and and a lot of responsibility on top of that. So it was fun and also very, very humbling at the same time, because at any moment things can go awry, and you have to be able to step up to it.
So then, from being a jet fighter and flying those planes to being a dating expert, first of all, let me just ask, what makes you a dating expert?
All right, so it's a mix of education and experience. And that really is what it is, because there's no PhD for dating, right? There's no PhD for,
Well, some people do. I for one have been to therapy, and I've talked to, hi, Michael. I have been broken, befuddled, bewildered. I have been desolate. I have been emotionally stranded.
Yeah.
Right, Michael, due to my bad dating choices. But again, what has made you an expert? Why would people come to you?
Yeah, number one, it was, just having the background of the education, right? So if you know much about, behavioral economics, it encompasses a lot of different pieces on why people do what they do in relation to each other, when rational expectation can get thrown out the window. And those are very, very important pieces. So when we get down to the main issue of dating, it's really about decision making. Then the other piece of that is it was my passion, and like I said before, growing up with the upbringing that I had, it was really, really important for me to understand how to do it properly, how to do the dating process properly, because, unless it's an arranged marriage, every great romance starts with great dating. And so that's the foundation, and if you don't have the proper foundation, well, then your entire, relationship is in trouble.
What do you think of arranged marriages?
I
say run.
Well, I can say this for arranged marriages, that statistics will show that they have less divorce rates.
Wait, hold on. So why less divorce rates? Because as you were saying earlier, you get to choose. You're not choosing your loved one.
Yeah, from the articles that I've seen, is essentially because it's all around family, right? Family is really the reason why they would get into those arranged marriages, and family, the love of family and the love for the decisions that your family's made, keeps those relationships together. So it's a lot different in the way that we approach it here in the United States by and large.
No, it truly is. Are your parents still married?
No. They were together for about 30 years,
Okay.
Married for 27. And that was one of the main reasons why, and I wasn't sad when my parents split up because I wanted both of them to be happy. I just wanted to make sure that the path that both of them chose, ended them up in just amazing relationships. And they always, the thing that I feel really thankful for is that my family actually sat down with my sister and I and had those discussions, those tough discussions, and they still do. You realize that your parents are just like us. They're people, and even though we hold them up on a pedestal, there's a lot of different things that they go through as well that we can relate to.
They're human beings with doing human doings.
For sure.
My parents were married for 19 years, and I remember that they both said that we're not going to be together anymore. And what was really nice is they ended up to be really, really good friends. And as I've gotten older, I realized that, and for those of you that are watching too, with your parents. Our parents are human beings.
Yeah.
They are not perfect. They make mistakes. Yeah. They taught us what we need to know, and then it's interesting as we get older, my brothers and I ended up teaching our parents things, which is kind of a beautiful turning of the dime.
It really is.
Before we go to our break, let me ask you, what is dating?
Dating is the process by which you find out whether or not the person that you want to be with can be the right person for you, right? So a lot of times, people are, out there looking, and they're so caught up in the games that they don't realize, hey, the purpose of us being in dating is to find out, can you be a great person for me long term?
Okay, when you say, I just love the fact that he said there's games, because here's the deal. When you date, there's games, and I hate, seriously, then most of the games are in our head, too.
They are.
Like this right up here, if you could just put something in my brain, it's a circus.
Yeah.
When I date, I'm serious. You know what I am? When I date, I am this roller coaster in the water. I'm a tragic romantic. But the bottom line though is, so when you date, it's kind of, isn't it? One of the rules of thumb is it's like a job interview. You basically are interviewing someone. Is that true? Do you support that or not?
In essence, but not as rigid as that sounds, because a lot of us, the connotation of a job interview is that you're there, you're uptight and everything like that. But in dating, you can really use your surroundings and your friends and different situations to really build rapport at the same time that you're finding out more about the individual. But I tell people, never shy away from asking the tough questions, because those are the ones that really, really matter, especially if you're looking to get married.
Wow. Okay, so we're already, I'm so sweating. Okay, we are at a first break. So here's my question. Do you have any questions for Brandon about what to do and how to date? And if you're in a relationship, don't use first and last names. Please call us at 818-547-3668, because when you come back, we're going to share with you how you can get his almost released ebook online. We'll see you after the break. Don't go away.